You're listening to Between the Fountains, a Kansas City Royals baseball podcast.
All right. Welcome to episode lucky number 13 Between the Fountains, the Kansas City Royals podcast. It is June 29th. I'm Bryan. That's Michael. Haven't seen him for a while. We've been friends for over 40 years and Royals fans since the time we can walk. We break down the Royals from all angles, and we give you our honest opinions of the highs and lows of the season. Currently, our Kansas City Royals are in last place. We are 9.5 games out. Did you know that Cleveland and Chicago are currently tied for first place in the West?
Yeah,
Excuse me,
for
the
them.
Central. I wish it was the
Central.
West. It'd be easier, probably. That's a long time ago. Anyway, it's not good. I'll be honest with you there. We picked the wrong year to start a podcast for sure. We currently have 50 losses at this point. Michael, were you aware of that? We're 35 and 50. Anyway, we're just going to do some random topics tonight. Normally, I would list those at this point, but we're just going to list them as we go, as we see fit. So if you're new to the show, our goal here is to provide a unique forum for Royals fans to hear what we think, but we also want to hear from you. Right now, you can subscribe to our channel and leave a comment there on the YouTube, and we will do our best to address that. We appreciate it also if you would tell somebody about our show. I can't recommend watching the Royals right now too much. It's watch at your own risk, I would say. In fact, I have started recently doing goat yoga as a way to cope. How do you feel about goat yoga, Michael?
You know what? Whatever it takes, I say. Whatever it takes. But yeah, it's difficult to watch the Royals. And as a podcaster said today, that playing with Daniel Lynch, it was like Daniel Lynch was the Royals and Nick Lofton was the fans.
We'll get to that one. It's just a season of comedy,
Nightmares.
basically.
Multiple nightmares.
So anyway, do we have a sponsor for this fine program this evening, Michael?
We have a sponsor this evening. Yes, we do. Our sponsor is Bordner Roofing. Call Bordner Roofing for all of your roofing needs. They are located in Raytown, Missouri. Bordner Roofing, look them up on Google for their number. Bryan Straley at Bordner Roofing.
All right. Thank you to our sponsor. So this is just going to be kind of rapid fire. So, Michael, if you'd like to describe what happened yesterday between Daniel Lynch and Nick Lofton. Obviously, there's some animosity between the two. I mean, to take those types of levels, but you want to describe what happened?
I will, but before I do that, I do need to give a big thanks shout out to Barbara Coldflesh, Brian's mother, for standing in for me very admirably.
Right.
In fact, I think it's been our highest viewership since our first show.
Right. She has an agent already. Did you know that?
It
Just
would,
for
I
this.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah,
She
I would
told
think
me,
she would. Yeah.
She was a school teacher for like 40-something years. She said
Robinson Elementary.
the time on this podcast was her proudest moment. And I said, Mom, you were a teacher. And she said,
Yeah.
I'm not making this up, she said. So I said, molding
Well, I
young
think it
minds.
was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was meant to be since she was at Robinson Elementary. Wasn't that named after Frank Robinson or Herc?
I'm pretty sure. Both of them, actually. Which is an interesting combination between the two, Herc and Frank. Anyway.
Yes. So thank you again, Mrs. Coldflesh, for your awesome looking through the lens of a mom at baseball. Yeah.
All right.
So,
and let this be a shout out to your mom, by the way, if she's game. I'm sure we can work something out. She knows where you live, right? She knows where you live.
We'll have her on. We'll probably have her on in August because we're going to Wrigley Field together.
Oh, yeah?
So we'll do a little cut from Wrigley Field. So let's get back to Daniel Lynch. So,
all right.
I remember a game last year where Lynch was over near the foul line. He grabbed the ball and winged it to second. And HUD's like, he got him out, but probably Quattrero saying, very good play, but never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So very similar to the third base play. We understand he was trying to get that lead runner, but don't ever do that again.
Is Nick Lofton okay, by the way?
He had a contusion, is what they said.
Don't say that. Don't say that. God.
That's what I think. That's what Ann Rogers said, or it might have been Jeffrey Paxton. I don't know. I think it was Ann. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the I don't know. Anyway, so yes, a comedy of errors continues for the Royals. I actually did one little bit of research. So we've had a tough time of it lately, and you want to review the 2 games in a row that we lost. Well, I find my little document here by football scores. Do you recall?
Yeah. So I think you're talking about the last game against Tampa when Mr. Tolbert came in to pitch, and he had to pitch in 2 consecutive games. When does that ever happen in baseball when you brought in a position player to pitch in back-to-back games? I would check your fact check me, but I think that's the first time it's ever happened in baseball.
Yes, and what is his ERA? Like it was like 25 one game.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
it matters to me.
We've talked about this, and a lot of people are like me. I'd rather lose 21-1 instead of 2-1 or 4-3, because then you're looking back and saying, "Oh gosh, if Witt wouldn't have made that base running error, or if Garcia would have ran out that ball to first, then we would have won." So a loss is a loss. So we'll just take it under the chin. But it was embarrassing. Not my words, Michael Massey's words was embarrassing.
Right.
That White Sox game, yeah.
All right. So I did find my document. So in the history of the game, I think we'll just call it that. There's only been 3 teams to lose by more than the runs than the Royals lost in 2 games in a row, back-to-back games. Anyway, so the 2000 Baltimore Orioles, they had 39 runs scored against them in 2 games. Let's see, game 1. This one was heavily weighted on the first game. They lost 30-3.
Right.
Do you remember that game? Somehow,
yeah, it was yesterday.
Well, I think I remember them losing by 30. I think that's come up
Yeah.
before, but and then they lost.
They don't have a mercy rule, do they?
I don't think so. Maybe we should suggest one.
That would be a speed up, yeah.
And then they lost 9-7 in the next game, so total of 39 runs. The Royals.
Well, a loss is a loss, and
right.
This is a time where everybody is really exaggerating the weaknesses with the Royals, but we do need to look at the big picture, to where a lot of our losses have been by 2 and 1 run.
Right.
A lot of them have. So that's the question. That's the $1 million question: is do you retool? Do you sell the whole? Do you sell out, or do you just retool, reset, or start all over?
All right, let me get to my last 2 teams here. So the 1897 Louisville Colonials, was that right? Colonels.
Colonials.
They gave up 40 runs in 2 games. And then the 1950 St. Louis Browns allowed 37 runs in 2 games. So we didn't even win that. We were third, but third most. I guess that's got to be of all time, because 1897 was a long time ago. Anyway, so let's quickly get to the positives, Michael. So would you like to share any positives that you've observed so far this year?
Well, a lot of people would love to blaspheme Coach Zumwalt, right? The hitting coach.
Right.
But let's think about this. Caglione and Carter Jensen are both batting, I believe, over 260 versus left-handed pitchers. It's a fairly small sample size. So who do we give credit to that to? Is that Coach Zumwalt helping them maybe as rookies? I don't know. But I think actually Carter Jensen's batting about 282 against lefties. So that's super good. Again, a small sample size. So Caglione, Carter Jensen, huge silver linings to this season. And then after that, maybe Michael Massey, it falls fast after that.
Actually, I just pulled it up. Carter Jensen's hitting 306 versus lefties this year and 72 at bats, and Caglione is hitting 272 and 81 at bats against lefties.
That's phenomenal. So they're going to get another 140-ish the rest of the way,
something like
around
that.
there probably.
Yeah.
So let's see what they do. So again, I was the first on the bandwagon to criticize Coach Zumwalt, but you would think he's been helping them in their rookie years here, right?
I would say definitely. And Cags has 5 home runs against left-handed pitching, and Jensen has 1 home run against left-handed.
My neighbor laughed at me at 15 games through the year. He said, "Oh, you predicted Jack would have 28 home runs." It might have been 26. We'll have to go back to our first episode and fact check me. But look, he's on pace for that. He's got 14 right now.
Right. He's the leading home run hitter on the Royals right now.
Yeah, my neighbor's name's Brad. Oops, can I say that?
You just did. Yeah.
I just did.
But you didn't say the address, so it would take
I didn't say
sleuthing of some form. And so to go off your point here, so I've got the team leaders pulled up. So Cags leads with 14 home runs. Carter Jensen leads the team with 45 RBIs. So if you had said at the beginning of the season, the keys to the Royals' success, which a lot of people did, was Cags and Carter Jensen. And you'd have to give both of them green check marks, but everything else is bad, pretty much.
We didn't know that Pasquantino would forget how to hit.
Right.
We didn't know that Perez would have this horrible of a year at the plate. Bobby's been a little above average at the plate. We didn't know that 4 of our relievers would have north of a 5 ERA. Our critical relievers would have a north of a 5 ERA. Nobody could have predicted that.
Right. By the way, Tyler Tolbert has a 17.18 ERA right now. There's a stat for it. It's on ESPN right now. I'm looking at it.
There you go.
17.18. And he's not the highest on our team. Your friend Bailey Falter, who may be working for Bordner Roofing right now. I'm not sure.
He might be. He's faltering at Omaha.
He's got a 21.21 ERA.
He's not doing well.
Actually, the leader with only 1 game played. Can you guess who has the highest ERA of any pitcher this year for the Royals? That's kind of a trick question.
Well, are you talking about someone that has pitched regularly?
No, that's part of it. That's part of the trick. You've solved the trick.
It would probably be our our closer that's on the injured list.
There you go. Carlos Estevez has a 1.62 ERA. Yeah. That's why he's an expert over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hardly gave him any clues at all, and he sniffed it right out. So
once in a while, I'll nail it. Once in a while. No.
Yes. All right. So let's get to some negatives here. So I just pulled these stats. All right. So we are currently 26th in winning percentage at 4.12. We have a team ERA that's 28th in the league. How many teams do we have in Major League Baseball right now, Michael?
I think we have 28.
It starts with a 3.
I was going to say 30 or 28.
We have 30 teams. So out of 30 teams, we have the 28th worst team ERA.
That's not very good.
Same with our bullpen. Bullpen ERA is 28th. Here's one that you like to talk about. Batting average with runners in scoring position. We are 25th in the league. Runs scored, which seems to help you win more games. We're 25th in runs scored.
Let's just say we're at the bottom in pretty much every category out there.
23rd in home runs. 13th in team batting average at 248.
There's only one thing we're first at in the whole league.
What's that?
Throwing at our own players, Royals.
You're not going to be able to get over that, are you? We were sitting there watching that. And I said, "Did that just happen? Did that really just happen?" Sure enough, they replayed it like 3 or 4 times. And then when I couldn't quite. Obviously, who was
No remorse.
who was the injured player on there? Nick Lofton, right?
Yeah.
Nick Lofton was writhing in pain, rolling around on the ground, and Lynch
Walks right by him like nothing happened. You couldn't hear him or see
your
him.
player is just laying there on the ground, can't even.
They're not
he's
dead.
Yeah, and you're interested in getting the ball back and going back out there, which I guess that's admirable. I mean, get him next time, but I mean,
no remorse.
He walked right past him, and he had to have seen him. He was right there on the ground.
He's old school, just rub it off.
I guess so. Maybe that's happened to him, and he's, anyway. All right, because we pay big money for these stats that we get. So, team batting average, okay, on base percentage, we're 18th. Slugging percentage, we're 20th. OPS, we're 19th. I'm sure we could find some more things we were bad at, but that's pretty much it. So, with those stats, what I'm asking you now, Michael, as the Royals expert, besides all the stats I just gave, why are we so bad? If you had to put it in a sentence or two.
We've got bad players.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
That's a nutshell. That's it right there. We've got bad
Other
players.
teams have better players than us. Would you agree with that?
100%.
The Chicago White Sox have better players than us.
Well, if we start talking about the White Sox, then my blood pressure is going to go up because they did a very good thing in trading a lefty pitcher, Mr. Crochet, to the Red Sox for 3 very good prospects who are basically turning their team around. Now, let's go back to 2024. After that year, I said, we need to trade Cole Reagans right now. He said 2 Tommy John surgeries. He had an amazing year. He was almost a Cy Young Award winner. We need to trade him now where his value is high, but we did not. He has done nothing since then. So our mindset, business model of holding on to players, even going back to 2016 after the World Series year, is just a really bad, lazy mentality of a business plan.
Right. Well, look at the Rays. The Rays have completely pretty much changed their whole roster over. They got
the Rays are masters. The Rays are masters of that. They'll hold a player till his value's high, and then they trade him.
Right. And where did our manager come from?
Tampa.
The Rays.
The Rays. Yeah, he did.
So,
but he's not in the general manager's box.
No,
he's not. But obviously they have meetings together. The brass does. So we need to adopt that. Better late than never, I guess. We need to adopt that philosophy. Trade Walker, trade Junior, and get some real value from that.
I'm not going to say.
Did I say that?
Did I say that? You said trade Junior.
Okay.
You've got to trade Walker. Walker's had. He pitched. Was it the game after the 23 or however many runs it was? Didn't he? And he gave up. He had a shutout through how many innings?
He's Mr. Consistency. He's just amazing out there. He's always around the strike zone. He's a bulldog out there. He's a fighter. He studies the game. He studies the opponent. He's amazing, but it's probably time to trade him. He and Bubic.
Definitely time to trade him. Because I could see any team saying, let's run Walker out there in game 4 of the whatever, ALDS or whatever you want to call it.
Or game 3.
Yeah. I don't.
Sure.
Right. I give you a quality start for sure.
He will against any team. Right. Against the White Sox, against Tampa, against the Yankees, against the Dodgers. He's going to throw a good game.
Right. He definitely will. I don't know if they can move Lugo or not. He's not been looking too good lately. How about Starling Marte?
I think his ERA, you can fact check me. I think his ERA is 5.2 since he signed that new contract.
Oh, since then, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a couple good games this year, but I
A
guess
couple. Yeah.
he's probably still a marginal trade piece, I would say.
Marginal piece. He does have, he's not a rental.
Right.
Starling Marte,
There you go.
if I'm a team competing for a playoff spot, I'm wanting someone like him with his leadership.
Right.
He's really good against left-handed pitchers. He's not a Gold Glove outfielder anymore, but he's very serviceable out there.
Right.
And he's good out there. He made a couple good catches against the White Sox. So, and he runs the bases smart, which is not something we have on our team. It seems strange watching him do that.
Right.
But yeah, he's very marketable.
He's hitting 266. I don't know what it is over. I mean, it seems like over the last 15 games, it's more than that even. But
It does. And I
mean,
think perhaps his average with runners in scoring position is above league average, I would think.
I think he was at the game Sunday. He had a couple of hits, wasn't it? Sunday. We'll call it the.
He did.
Anyway, I was going to make another reference to the play that we were talking about, but let's let it go. He almost looks like, maybe he looks like that all the time, but like, get me out of here. That's kind of what I see in his face when he's standing on first base and he's talking to the first baseman of the other team. Or do you see that? He's only got maybe a year or two left, you think? He
might be grateful too to the Royals for the opportunity this year, because I don't know that very many teams wanted him. So
probably true.
He knows he's going to get traded here by the deadline. So I bet he's okay.
Do you think the Royals are playing him more because they're thinking that?
No, I don't think that's Hughes in his playbook.
How about JJ?
So no, I don't think so. They play to win. But that said, with the injuries and whatnot, he should be getting some playing time in here. Caglione pulled a groin muscle. They said he woke up with it. I think it could be, at first base, you're stretching in different ways than you do in right field.
Right. Maybe it's perhaps a sympathy pain.
It could be sympathy for his buddy Nick Lofton. We don't know that for sure, but it's definitely something.
That's a real thing. Sympathy.
If I were to interview him, yeah, it is a real thing. If I were to interview him, that would be my first question.
Yeah. And how would that question go?
It would go, Cags, the groin injury, is that sympathy for your brother Lofton? Is that what's happening there?
What do you think?
It would go something.
Yeah, I like that. I'd pay money to see that. I'd pay money to see that interview. But anyway, I don't know what to tell people as far as the Royals this year. I can't recommend watching them on a regular basis.
I think they could definitely win 60 games.
60 games? Do you think so? How many do we have now?
30.
30? Okay. So anyway, I'm not going to do the math on how bad it could be, but we're definitely staring 100 losses in the face for sure. Would you say?
I think we are. We've been critical of the Royals for their horrible draft choices, which they have made a lot of bad ones. I mean, you look at Frank Mazzucato, our number one draft pick 3 years ago. He's got it like an 8.9 ERA at AA.
Right.
But that said, on the other side of the coin, even though he was a pretty much easy choice, Mr. Caglione was a very good draft pick. And then Carter Jensen was too, that sandwich pick. So we got to call the good with the bad. So we're looking at having a top 6 draft pick. Well, we have the 6th pick in the draft this year, which is very good.
Coming up soon, too.
Right. And then next year we'll have probably a top 6 also, with an opportunity maybe to get the number 1 pick in the whole draft next year. So things are looking brighter for the Kansas City Royals.
Because we're losing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I had a question there. Oh, sandwich pick. Yeah. That's one of my favorite terms. I always like it when they say that, sandwich pick. So
yeah.
I don't quite understand what it means. I just like hearing somebody say it. He was a sandwich pick.
That was CJ. Yeah.
All right. So last question for you. All right. Is it time to show the door to Q?
Well, that's the final. That's Mr. Sherman's call, obviously, and JJ's.
Right.
He's lost the team. He lost them probably around that time when he and Salvi had that little tiff.
Right.
He's lost the team. There's no accountability. So as a strong owner, you're going to push that decision to have him either stay in the organization as like a consultant or just let him go. But, what's the value of money to Mr. Sherman? I'm not for sure. It's important, but if he is more concerned about winning, then he'll let him go here soon or after the end of the year. If he's more concerned about the dollar than winning, then he'll keep him for next year.
You see the Mets fired Carlos Mendoza?
I saw that there's some good options out there for the Mets. Carlos Beltran's available. Also, Alex Cora was let go by the
Right.
Red Sox.
Right.
So there's, and then, possibly Matt Quatrero, if he's let go, he'll be available.
So he's on the short list or whatever they say when they talk about
Yeah,
that
he's
stuff.
on the short list.
Could you imagine him managing the New York Mets? I mean, really?
I mean, Mets, they've made some, you talk about Royals' bad decisions. Wow.
Right.
They've made some bad free agent
agent.
signings and bad trades. They've
Right.
and they brought in a center fielder from the White Sox, which everybody knew watching him last year. He was just
Robert.
lazy out. Louis Robert.
You
He was just
pronounce it
lazy
Robert?
out there.
See, I pronounce it
Yep.
Robert because that makes me a lot more.
Robert.
I sound
Okay.
cooler when I say that. Don't
All right, Mr. Robert was just lazy out there last year. You don't want
Yeah.
that on your team. That's a cancer. That's why they got rid of him. And then they picked up Bichette, and he's batting, I think, like 235 or
He's been
something like
terrible.
that.
Every move they made was bad.
Every move the Mets made. So,
Right.
when you look at that, everything can always be worse, right? In life, with the
You could be the
Royals, if you
Royals.
look at the Mets,
Yeah.
the Mets have made worse
Anyway.
decisions than we have.
Right. And they're like, what, third or fourth on payroll, too, by the way. Something like that. They're way
Yeah,
up
at least we have a small payroll.
Right. So we're good with that. We're good at that, and we're good at losing. So we get high draft picks, you said, right?
You
So
get high draft picks.
Those are things we
look
like.
forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
All
High
right.
draft picks, sandwich picks.
I like that. Say that one more time.
Sandwich picks.
All right. What's your favorite sandwich, by the way?
I just had a turkey with mayonnaise just now.
Is that right? I seen a bowl in your hand earlier. Was that cereal?
That's my granola for dessert.
Oh, granola for dessert. Now that's healthy eating. Right.
Yeah, it is.
That's how you have that youthful effervescence that you.
Yeah, that's how I keep my boyish good looks.
Yeah. All right. So, any other thoughts on before we sign off this evening, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, don't give up on the Royals just yet. I mean, they're done for this year, but there is hope for 2029.
2042, I'm looking at. I've got that circled right here. 2042. How old would we be?
Yeah, we'll be old. We'll be like 73.
73? Yeah. I remember when we won the World Series back in 2015.
The good old days.
1985, I can remember. Let's sit down here and let me tell you about the Royals. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not ready for that yet. All right. With that, let's wrap this one up. Thanks for listening to Between the Fountains, the Kansas City Royals podcast. Our next episode is to be determined, but I'm sure you'll be happy when it happens. And that's it. And you want to say it? I haven't heard it for a while. What do you say at our end of the podcast?
Go Royals.
There we go. All right. Have a good one. Bye.